Life is a lively sea, filled with towering crests and crashing waves. As navigators of this turbulent drink, we must focus on building our vessels, ensuring they are sturdy enough to weather any storm. From homelessness to stability, my personal journey has equipped me with a unique perspective that I believe is applicable to both personal and professional realms. The challenges I faced have taught me the importance of resilience, vulnerability, and community. These are principles that have shaped who I am today and continue to guide me forward. Homelessness often conjures up images of individuals living on the streets. However, there is a less visible form of homelessness, known as hidden homelessness, that affects many young adults. According to the National Conference of State Legislators, 1 in 10 young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 in the United States experiences this hidden form each year. Hidden homelessness, commonly known as couch surfing, occurs when individuals lack a stable place to stay and rely on friends or family for temporary shelter. Because these young people do not live on the streets, they are often not included in official homeless statistics, and resources are not readily made known to them. Despite this difference, their experiences can be just as challenging and enduring in their own ways. I experienced hidden homelessness after graduating from high school in Buffalo, New York. I grew up in a loving middle-class family in the suburbs with my twin sister and 2 working parents. Despite best efforts to stay afloat, our family stability was always shaky, moving between homes throughout my youth. Being afraid of repossessions or utilities being turned off, life was often like a tea kettle, set to warm, left to boil, and eventually boil over. Despite being a top honor student, being involved in our church community, and outwardly putting a good face on, the bottom fell out. Sometimes even the strongest candles of love get blown out by the winds of instability. Family separations occurred, financial shortcomings pushed to the forefront, and simply put, there was no longer an ability for the support structure of our family to stay intact. I graduated from high school, but instead of continuing on to college, found myself in a constant state of flux, not able to live consistently with my parents, but not having a permanent place to stay elsewhere. I would bounce between a bed, to a floor in a friend's apartment, to a car, wherever I could stay for that night. Throughout this time, I was at war with extreme depression, anxiety, and a fight-and-flight conflict. Overwhelming feelings of loneliness and creeping thoughts of suicide were on my shoulder. Barely past the age of 20, I didn't feel like I knew where to turn or what resources were there to help. Family was around, but whether due to relationship constraints, self-doubt, depression, or lack of security, I simply wasn't able to seek out help. There would often be long days and nights in the Buffalo winter, shoveling out from feet of snow, only to put together whatever money I could find in order to eat 1 Burger King meal as my only food to sustain me. This experience left me scared, shaken, and left imprints of trauma that have stayed with me to this day. Driven by a desire to survive, leave Buffalo, continue my pursuit of education, and graduate college, I moved to South Florida. I enrolled in classes at Florida International University and drove my car all the way from Western New York to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. My motivation was to completely change my surroundings in order to change my situation. I quickly found out, however, that even being in a new location did not protect me from the circumstances I was in. The arrangement I thought was in place to stay with relatives fell through, and again I was unsure of where to go, and the car became my refuge. I very quickly found that what I thought would be a better situation was even more challenging. I was in a new place, completely alone, enrolled in classes, but working various jobs just to stay afloat. Each job only lasted a few weeks due to the stress I was in. The car was my bed, my home, and my cell. There were times when I believed the only answer was to give up, feeling like I was destined to fail. These times made me question my thoughts on what a stable situation should be like. Was I expecting something that wasn't real? Everyone offers to help, but who actually comes through? What help do I even need right now that could change my circumstances? What does it mean to trust, and who can I? I recoiled inwardly, lost and unsure what the next steps to take. Each time a new wave came crashing, I braced for impact, not sure if I was still steering forward or endlessly adrift. As the days and weeks went on, without my situation only shifting, not improving, I knew that I couldn't stay this way. There had to be answers, and I had to dig deep to find them. The answers I found to move forward were in resilience, vulnerability, and community. These were the tenets I would build my vessel on to get through this ever-present storm. I forced myself to get out there and meet new people. This was a challenging experience, and the journey started off rough, with nights spent at punk clubs with questionable behavior. I refocused my efforts to meet people on campus by looking to become involved with student organizations and clubs. Through this, I met my friends in Beta Theta Pi men's fraternity, who would become lifelong brothers and help me build a support network that stretches across the globe. Our fraternity bonded on core values of intellect, responsible conduct, mutual assistance, integrity, and trust. These brothers met me where I was in my life, all from different backgrounds, and sought out my friendship. By leading with empathy and compassion, we can begin to understand the challenges that others may be facing. We can offer support, encouragement, and an active listening ear. Oftentimes, the person we see in front of us has stories, challenges, and circumstances that we would never know. The most hardcore thing we could do is to be kind. The experiences that I had with my fraternity brothers helped me learn the lesson of how to seek out those who need help, how to look for those who find it difficult to speak up or pulling away from the group, and offer them an olive branch of support or a place to feel safe. You can truly be someone's life preserver when they are lost at sea. As I began to feel more secure with this new support network I was starting to build, I became more involved in both school and local organizations. I became a member of international relief programs, mentorship programs, and even volunteered to hand out concert flyers to support local music around me. I tried to find whatever little time I had available, give it back, and continue to move forward. Voicing and practicing support for causes dear to our hearts can help us find fulfillment. Finding time to look outside of yourself and give to a cause will strengthen your resolve and fill your bucket in ways you'll never know otherwise. This isn't just a charity donation. The giving of your time and efforts will deepen your relationship with what is important to you, your guiding principles and values, while improving your community and the lives of the people in it. I encourage you to become engaged in the many BRGs and DEI initiatives that we have here at Cardinal. The 2020 Deloitte study found that 80% of employees who feel included and empowered say they're able to perform at their best. And 75% stated that when involved, they are more loyal to their organization. By earnestly seeking the friendship of others, having it reciprocated back, and being involved in the scene around me, I was blessed with the fortune to meet the most important person in my life. This person has provided me with a sense of security I never imagined I would have. She's been my ride or die best friend since the first day we met, encouraged me through the early part of my life, and we have traveled the world together. My wife, Celinda, helped me build a sense of confidence and integrity that I was sorely lacking. With the help of her family, I finally found permanent shelter and safety. In fact, it was my father-in-law who saw me sleeping in my car one morning and immediately asked if I would move into his home. By taking time to get to know others, building trusting relationships, enduring conflicts without stepping away, and offering support, we can create an environment to thrive. This is a life lesson that can be applied anywhere, at home or in the office. The simple act of saying hello or good morning, basic acknowledgement, can make one person's day and make them feel seen and heard. I encourage you to get away from your phone, from the doom scrolling of social media, out from behind your desk and take a walk. Go to a coffee shop, go to a concert, go to your library, I promise you they still exist, and say hi to someone you don't know. The greatest reward you will receive is meeting someone new and expanding your horizons. You could be someone's safe haven. At the very least, you will put yourself out of your comfort zone and in a situation to grow. My experiences with homelessness and journey from it have provided me with a unique perspective on many things. While on one hand, I wish I could tell you that this experience was the only hard trial I've taken, the truth is that these lessons I learned provided me with the mindset to get through more battles along the way. Whether it's been multiple moves across the country, financial uncertainty, personal loss, or even the pressure of a work deadline, the principles formed have been my foundation to get through. The storm always passes, but there's always another forming behind to be ready for. In many ways, I still find it difficult to open up about my past. I've had a hard relationship with trust, mental health, and engaging openly with others. It truly takes a daily effort to get there, sometimes with mixed results, ebbs and flows. Trauma can be long-lasting and exhibit itself in many different ways. But by owning trauma, speaking truth to it, and being vulnerable to others, can we take the reins back, put our hands on the wheel, and steer toward clearer skies? Intentionally building emotional intelligence and active listening to ourselves and others leads to a deeper level of relationships and understanding. Be aware of your body language, uncross your arms and be inviting. When interacting remotely, put your camera on, look intently into the direction of who is speaking, and respond with questions that show you're invested with what they have to say. Choose to be resilient, vulnerable, and build community. This will allow you to invest in honest humanity, breaking down communication barriers, and truly knowing yourself and others. Give yourself grace as you persevere through life's challenges, and reach out to one another for support. Be open to asking for help and be just as open to receiving it in the way it can be given. Together, we can navigate life's stormy seas and create a brighter future. I look forward to learning more and hearing about your own journeys, and I'm here as an advocate to keep you sailing.